Are there moments in animal behaviour that you know happen, but you haven't seen yet? You haven't been involved with the capturing of that on film?
Oh, yes. I mean, and that involves actually giant squid. Giant squid have been filmed. This is an enormous thing, 100 foot long or something like that, with its tentacles out. They live in the very deep water, very seldom seen alive. A Japanese team managed to film one a couple of years ago, but we know that giant squid fight with whales, with sperm whales, because the sperm whales have circular scars on their snouts, which can only come from the huge suckers of the giant squid. Now, that's a titanic battle.
But they're terrifying. Some of those creatures, are you frightened by many of the animals in film? Because there's some footage in this that really gave me the creeps. The octopus walking on land in this is one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen in my life. Did you not think...
The most ingenious and athletic.
Did you know an octopus could walk on land, Idris?
No, I'd never heard of that. Really?
Yeah, they can.
So say you were out walking your kids on the beach and you saw an octopus walking towards you, Idris. What would your reaction be?
I'd leave my kids.
Have you had many encounters with wild beasts, though, Idris?
Actually, not much. Actually, when I was in South Africa, shooting in Cape Town, you know, in Cape Town, Table Mountain there, they've got the wild orangutan, I think they are, and they are... they come right up to you, get your handbag, get your sandwich and move on. They're like...
You had a handbag?
But it wasn't an orangutan.
It wasn't an orangutan.
No, it was probably a
baboon.
Baboon.
A baboon.
Sorry.
So we'll just cut that out of the show.
No, this is the worst person to sit next to when you tell a story without knowing what animal it is, right? Some animals, of course, are, even with precautions, are dangerous to film near, and they're not necessarily the ones you would necessarily expect to be so. Whenever I see a polar bear, you may think, wow, what a gorgeous creature, I'd love to be close to that. But, of course, they are terrifying and they are lethal.
They are the only wild animal who actually deliberately hunt human beings. Wow. Who, when they see a human being, they think, yum, yum, breakfast, you know. I mean, they are very, very frightening animals, and they're very, very big. And actually, the team from Hunt that was filming these filmed them just in the beginning of when the ice was beginning to melt in the spring. And they discovered a new kind of behaviour. That what the polar bear was doing was coming up, because in the spring, holes developed all over the ice cover. So the polar bear would stick its head out and it would spot a seal just over there, and you could see that it was noticing that there was another little blowhole over there, and then it would go down under the water, under the ice, swim through the water and try and come up next door to where the seal was sitting, so it could grab it, see. And this, the team noticed, I think it was the first time, and they decided to try and film it. And they set out to do this sort of thing, and it was quite difficult, because the polar bear kept coming up in places they didn't expect.
So he would get lost under the ice?
That's right. Well, they thought it got lost. Hadn't got lost. It was actually hunting the cameraman.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's quite tough.
The interesting about the hunt, I think, is because when we watch nature shows, and I think I can speak for most of us, is you succumb to the cuteness of an animal, and when you see a smaller animal being hunted by a larger animal, your sympathies go with the prey rather than with the predator. And, of course, here you go out of your way to show us the inevitability of the circle of life.
Yes, the fact of the matter is that most predators fail most of the time. It's very, very tough being a cheetah or a lion. We don't show the kill. What we're interested in is the tactics in which the predators use to attack, and the tactics that the prey use to escape. Yeah. I mean, hunting dogs, for example. I mean, hunting dogs have a hunt as a team, and because if they were operating singly, they could never bring these things down. They wouldn't have the endurance. But with a team, you can change the leadership, you can follow on, and inexorably you can run down, and you can eventually, because you operate as a team, prevent the prey from jinking, which is what they tend
Even dolphins are doing it as well. I mean, it's remarkable.
Dolphins?
Don't get him started on dolphins.
Dolphins, in Florida, they come into the swamps, into the mud flats, and they operate as a team, and they herd the small fish so that they sweep them up with a bow wave, sweep them up onto the mud, and then they themselves follow them and lying next door to one another, lie on their sides and scoop up the fish. It's amazing thing to see. And actually, the extraordinary thing is that, of course, if you've got 8 dolphins, they're going to do this as a team, and they're going to turn on their side to pick up the fish with their mouth. They've all got to turn the same way.
Yeah, oh, yes. So that
because
if
one turned one way and another, then they would.
It would be awkward. They'd be kissing.
They would only get half as much.
Have you ever kissed a dolphin?
I've been kissed by a dolphin, but chaps like me don't tell these sort of things. Kiss and tell is not what we do.
I kissed one once as well. His breath was terrible.
Was it? His breath?
Yes.
Was it?
He must have told. He's told that story about me to you, hasn't he? Would you go into space if they asked you? Because, you know, we're doing that now.
That's boring.
What?
I'm not turned on by space. I know it's lack of imagination or something. But this planet we've got is so packed with excitements and
Why do you need Darth Vader when you've got an octopus walking across a thing like that?
And a great thousands of towns of energy burning away up your backside and shooting you off into space where you're going to hang around for weeks. In darkness, nothing happening. I'd much rather go on the Barrier Reef.
I can see. OK. For Richard Branson, I'm cancelling my ticket, OK? I'm not going. Would you stay with us a little longer this evening, Sir David? That would be lovely. I just want to show a photograph before we move on with the show, because here's a picture of Sir David much earlier. This was on Blue Peter. Sir David, this is from 1958, and he's showing... is that a parakeet or a cockatoo? What is that?
It's a cockatoo.
It's a cockatoo, and you're showing it to 2 young people there.
Yes.
And could you tell us who those young people are?
Well, that's the Prince of Wales and Princess Anne.
Wow.
Look at that.
And there's me pretending I'm not worried that my cockatoo, which I brought back from New Guinea, wasn't going to remove Princess Anne's little finger.
That's incredible, isn't it? That is a lovely picture. Well, you've been helping all of us to understand and enjoy animals in that way for so many years now. Long may it continue to be the case. The hunt is on right now, and you can get the DVD, and it is just sheer enjoyment from start to finish, thanks in no small part to the contribution of this man, Sir David Attenborough. So, David, as always, such a pleasure.